A dragon was trying to hide in the storm. Lightning flickered across the dark clouds. Hivitor clutched his fragile cargo closer. If he could make it over the mountains, he'd be safe. He'd escape the sky dragon's palace unseen, and the secret cave was so close. But his theft had not been as stealthy as he thought, and eyes as black as obsidian were already tracking him from below. The enormous dragon on the mountain ledge had pale gold scales that radiated heat like a desert horizon. Her black eyes narrowed, watching the gleam of silver wings far up in the clouds. She flicked her tail, and behind her 2 more dragons rose to the sky and dove into the heart of the storm. A piercing shriek echoed off the mountains as their talons seized the moon-pale ice dragon. "Bind his mouth," the waiting dragon ordered as her soldiers dropped Hivitor on the slick, wet ledge in front of her. He was already inhaling, ready to attack. "Quickly!" One of the soldiers grabbed a chain from the pile of smoldering coals. He threw it around the ice dragon's snout, clamping his jaws together with a sizzling smell of burning scales. Hivitor let out a muffled scream. Too late. The sand dragon's forked tongue slithered in and out of her mouth. "You won't be using your freezing death breath on us, ice dragon." He was carrying this, Queen Byrne," said one of the soldiers, handing her a dragon egg. Byrne squinted at the egg through the downpour. "This is not an Icewing egg," she hissed. "You stole this from the Skywing Palace." The Icewing stared back at her. Hissing steam circled his snout when a hot chain spent cold silver scales. "You thought you got away unnoticed, didn't you?" Byrne said. "My Skywing ally is not a fool. Queen Scarlet knows everything that happens in her kingdom. Her lookouts reported an Icewing thief sneaking away, and I decided finding you might add some violence to my boring visit." Byrne held the large egg up to the light of the fire and turned it slowly. Red and gold shimmered below the pale, smooth surface. "Yes, this is the Skywing egg about to hatch," Byrne mused. "Why would my sister send you to steal a Skywing dragonette? Blaze hates any dragon younger and prettier than she is." She thought for a moment, surprise. "Sorry about that. Yes, let's just start here. Why would my sister send you to steal a Skywing dragonette? Blaze hates any dragon younger and prettier than she is." She thought for a moment as rain drummed on the ledge around them. "Unless the brightest night is tomorrow." Her tail flicked up like a scorpion's, the poisonous barb inches from Hivitor's eyes. "You're not in Blaze's army, are you? You're one of those insipid underground peacemongers." "The town's of peace?" said one of the soldiers. "You mean they're real?" Byrne snorted. "A few worms crying over a little blood. Unwrap his chains. He won't be able to freeze us until the scales cool down." The enormous sand dragon leaned closer as a soldier pulled the chain away. "Tell me, Ice Dragon, who do you really believe in that pompous old Nightwing's prophecy?" "Haven't enough dragons died for your war?" snarled Hivitor, wincing at the pain in his jaw. "All of Hyria has suffered for the last 12 years. The prophecy says I don't care." "No prophecy decides what happens to me," Byrne interrupted. "I'm not letting a bunch of words or baby dragons choose when I die or what I bow to. We can have peace when my sisters are dead, and I am queen of the Sandwings." Her venomous tail tipped closer to the silver dragon. Rain pattered on Hivitor's scales. He glared up at her. "The dragonets are coming whenever you like it or not, and they'll choose who the next Sandwing queen should be." "Really?" Byrne stepped back and turned the egg slowly between her talons. Her forked tongue slipped in and out of her smile. "So, Icewing, is this egg a part of your pathetic prophecy?" Hivitor went still. Bern tapped lightly on the eggshell with one long talon. "Hello," she called. "Is there a dragonhead of destiny in there? Ready to come out and end this big bad war?" "Leave it alone," Hivitor choked out. "Tell me," Bern said, "what becomes of your precious prophecy if one of the 5 dragonets is never hatched at all?" "You wouldn't," he said. "No one would harm a dragon egg." His blue eyes were fixed desperately on her talons. "No wings of sky to help the world," Bern said. "What a sad, sad story." She began tossing the egg from one front claw to the other. "I guess that means you should be very, very careful with this terribly important..." Oops! With an exaggerated lunge, Bern pretended the wet egg was slipping through her talons, and then she let it fall over the side of the cliff into the rocky darkness below. "No!" Hivitor shrieked. He threw off the 2 soldiers and flung himself toward the edge. Bern slammed her massive claws down on his neck. "So much for destiny," she smirked. "So much for your tragic little movement." "You're a monster," the Ice Wing gasped, writhing under her talons. His voice cracked with despair. "We'll never give up. The dragonets will come and stop this war." Bern leaned down to hiss into his ear. "Even if they do, it'll be far too late for you." Her claws ripped through the silver dragon's wings, shredding them as Hivitor shrieked in agony. With a swift movement, she stabbed her poisonous tail through his skull and flung the long silver body over the edge of the cliff. The ice dragon's screams cut off long before the echoes of the corpse, slamming into the rocks below. The Sandwing turned her black eyes to her soldiers. "Perfect," she said. "That should be the last we hear about that stupid prophecy." She held out her talons so the rain could wash away the glistening dragon blood. "Let's go find something else to kill." The three dragons spread their wings and lifted off into the dark clouds. Sometime later, far below, a large dragon the color of rust crawled over the rocks into the broken body of the ice dragon. She nudged his tail aside and lifted a shard of eggshell from underneath it, then slipped back into the labyrinth of caves under the cliffs. Stone walls brushed against her wings. She breathed out a plume of flame to light her way along the dark passage, deep into the mountain. "I stand with the talons of peace," hissed the voice in the shadows. "Kestrel, is that you?" "We await the wings of fire," answered the red dragon. A blue-green sea wing emerged from a side cave, and she tossed the eggshell at his feet. "Not that it'll do us much good now," she snarled. "Hivitor is dead." The sea wing stared at the eggshell. "But the skywing egg..." "Broken," she said. "Gone. It's over, Webs." "It can't be," he said. "Tomorrow's the brightest night. The 3 moons will all be full for the first time in a century. The dragons of the prophecy have to hatch tomorrow." "Well, one of them is already dead," Kestrel said, rage flickered in her eyes. "I knew I should have stolen the skywing egg myself. I know the Sky Kingdom. They wouldn't have caught me a second time." Webb grimaced, snatching one claw over the gills along his neck. "Asha is dead too." "Asha?" A spurt of flame shot from Kestrel's nose. "How?" "Caught in a battle between blazes and blisters forces on the way here. She still made it with the red mudwing egg, but she died of her wound soon after." "So it's just you, me, and Dune to raise the little worms," Kestrel growled. "For a prophecy that can never be fulfilled. Let's break the cursed eggs now and be done with it. We'll be long gone before the talents of peace return for the dragonets." "No!" Webs hissed. "Keeping the dragonets alive for the next 8 years is more important than anything. If you don't want to be part of that..." "Alright, enough," Kestrel snapped. "I'm the strongest dragon in the talents of peace. You need me. It doesn't matter how I feel about nasty little dragonets." She eyed the eggshell on the floor, rubbing her scarred palms together. "Although I thought at least one of them would be a skywing." "I'll find us a 5th dragonet," Wes pushed past her, scales scraping against rock. There's no way back to the Sky Kingdom, brainless, she said. They'll be guarding the hatchery closely now. Then I'll get an egg somewhere else, he said grimly. The rain wings don't even count their eggs. I could take one from the rainforest without anyone noticing. Of all the horrible ideas, Kestrel said with a shudder, rainwings are wretched creatures, nothing like skywings. We have to do something, Webb said. He hissed as his tail sent the eggshells skittering across the floor. In 8 years, the Talents of Peace will come looking for 5 dragonettes. The prophecy says 5, and we're going to make it come true. Whatever it takes.